A handful of Democrat presidential candidates are pushing for legislation on criminal justice reform. One America's Gienel Agcaoili has more on their proposals.
2020 Democrat presidential hopefuls are proposing policies to tackle prison reform. According to reports Monday, 8 candidates vying for the presidential bid contributed to a May publication of the Brennan Center's Ending Mass Incarceration. The report comes just a day after President Trump touted a sweeping criminal justice reform bill he signed into law in 2018. The First Step Act is regarded as one of the administration's biggest accomplishments, which cuts prison time and allows earlier release for nonviolent offenders. In the publication, Senator Cory Booker proposes a measure to build off President Trump's legislation. Booker's Next Step Act aims to reduce sentences for nonviolent drug offenses and reinvest in communities impacted by the war on drugs. The New Jersey senator also supports a controversial proposal to allow formerly incarcerated people to vote in federal elections. Meantime, Senator Bernie Sanders takes this proposal a step further, insisting convicted felons should be allowed to vote while in prison. Sanders received backlash in April when he said even terrorists like the Boston Marathon bomber should be allowed to vote.
But I think the right to vote is inherent to our democracy. Yes, even for terrible people. Because once you start chipping away and you say, well, that guy committed a terrible crime, not going to let him vote. Or that person did that, not going to let that person vote. You're running down a slippery slope.
And Senator Kamala Harris contributed to the publication, pushing to reduce unnecessary imprisonment. However, Harris has been heavily criticized by the left for her tough-on-crime approach as California's Attorney General. As AG, she promoted policies such as truancy laws, which resulted in the imprisonment of parents who allowed their children to miss too many days of school.
My regret is that I have now heard stories that where in some jurisdictions, DAs have criminalized the parents.
Right.
And I regret that that has happened, and that the thought that anything that I did could have led to that, because that certainly was not the intention. Never was the intention. Yeah. Never was the intention.
The Brennan Center also showcased former Vice President Joe Biden's push for prison reform. However, Biden has also attempted to separate himself from his own criminal justice voting record. Experts say the Anti-Drug Abuse Act he co-sponsored in 1986 made it harder to treat the opioid crisis. The former vice president has since apologized for his policies, saying he hasn't always been right. Other Democrat candidates across the board agree with legalizing marijuana on a federal level, limiting mass incarceration, and easing formerly incarcerated people back into society. Gienel Agcaoili, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.